Hi everybody, this is Lisa Castro here. I'm on my way to go work out, and I was thinking about you. And I was thinking about, are you accomplishing your goals with Take Shape for Life? And I mean your health goals all the way around, but starting with your weight loss. How many of you out there have been on the 5 and 1 and you've oscillated? How many have oscillated because they are adding exercise in too fast? Is that you? Are you finding yourself having so much energy and feeling so much better than you've felt in so long that you want to go out and exercise? I did that. I hadn't exercised for so long because it would put me in bed from the autoimmune diseases I was suffering with. So when I started feeling better, I thought, wow, this is so cool. And I went whitewater rafting a couple of weeks into the program. It was way too much exercise, and I did not add any extra fuel into my day, even though I burned a whole lot of calories that day, and my body went into starvation mode. It started using muscle for fuel because I'd burned up the protein that I'd already consumed by having my Metafast meal replacements. So what I ended up doing is getting, back into the routine, and you starting to lose weight again. And at that time, I thought, you know what, I'm going to do this right. And I just stayed on the 5 and 1, and then I started gradually adding exercise in after I've been maintaining 5 and 1, being in fat burning for 3 to 4 weeks. And then I gradually started adding some aerobic activity in. Right now, it's recommended that you start with walking. And if you start with walking, you're doing it slowly and then adding time onto it as you go along, and maybe speed up the process or go at a faster pace as you go along. But the key is gradually adding it at the right timing. After you've been in fat burning again for 3 to 4 weeks is the ideal time. Now, if you're far away from a healthy weight, then we encourage you to just do mild exercise or none. I know that sounds really odd to say no exercise when that's a habit of health, but it's not healthy for you if you've got a lot of weight to lose. So Dr. A would like to see you get to that healthier weight before incorporating more intense exercise. And when that happens, it's going to be gradual again. And some people might even need to add some extra fuel into that. So it's a really delicate formula. So I encourage my clients to just stick with nothing more than walking and maybe some core exercises into their routine. Because what I've seen over and over is somebody that says, oh, I feel so good, and they over-exercise. And what ends up happening is they end up craving. And they go eat something totally off plan, typically pizza or something high in carbohydrates, because their body is craving it. The other thing that can happen is, imagine this, your body is like when it's in fat burning, it's like this big fire burning brightly and burning up your fuel, your fat for fuel very well. And you throw some lighter fluid on it, it represents the exercise. You are burning up your fuel a whole lot faster than what the 5 and 1 is designed to do. And so you don't have the fuel from your nutrition taking care of your body, so your body will say, well, I'll have to find some within, which is your muscle. And that defeats the purpose of our program. The whole idea is to lose fat while protecting the muscle. So if you are incorporating too much exercise too soon, to lose that muscle will make it harder for you to get to your goal and to maintain your goal once you get there. So there's more reasons for not exercising than there is to exercise while on the 5 and 1. Now, it's different if you have been exercising prior to the program, then we want you to cut back in time and intensity. And I mean regular exercise, anywhere from 3 to 5 times a week for the last couple of months. If that has not been a routine, then put yourself in the category of the non-exerciser and just gradually add it in about 3 to 4 weeks into your program. And then when you've gotten to your transition, that's when you can start adding more exercise. And then when you get to maintenance, you can go crazy if you want. And that's the time when, if you think about it, the more muscle you put on in maintenance, the more calories that you can consume and still maintain your weight. I must emphasize healthy calories, not M&Ms. That's what I thought I could do. It is healthy calories that your body needs to maintain that muscle. So for every pound of muscle you put on versus fat, when you're in that maintenance mode, that's an extra 50 to 70 calories that you can consume. I am weigh a whole lot less than I did when I started the program, but I eat more than I did when I was overweight because they are healthy calories. So I'm going to encourage you to really evaluate a situation like I experienced with one of our clients. Her name is Carmen, and she was in the weight loss phase, and she was wanting to lose 80 pounds, and I think she was about 60 pounds into her goal, and wanted to compete in the Wild Canyon Games, and she was going to have to start exercising really hard soon. And I strongly encouraged her not to do that. She asked my advice, and I told her the pros and cons, and she opted not to start exercising and training for that event. She ended up getting to her goal weight, and she ended up signing up for Cycle Oregon. And she had amazing competition. This is a person that could not get through Central Park when she was overweight on a bicycle, and here she is out going on Cycle Oregon. I was so proud of her, impressed by her. And not only did she do that, she's now gone on to train for triathletes or triathlons, and now she's going to be training for an Ironman competition. So if she has not followed that advice, typically what I've seen over and over again is somebody oscillating between their competing values. They go on the 5 and 1, then they exercise, and then they end up kicking themselves out of fat burning or going to starvation mode. Then they go back on the 5 and 1, and they go back and forth, and they never get to where they really want to be, and then they get frustrated with themselves. And some of them gain their weight back. It's sad to say, but it's true. I've seen it happen over and over. So if you're working with a trainer, you have a different scenario. They can guide you through that process. At the same time, the trainer might not understand how our program works. So be sure to talk with somebody very qualified in both Take Shape for Life and as a fitness trainer to really understand energy in versus energy out. And that being said, I really encourage exercise and competing and really going all out if you want it. I'm hoping so many more people will take up the banner of Ultra Health, but let's do it in the right order. Become that fully integrated client and then become that fully integrated exerciser. And you'll have a much better time being a better example for your clients if you are a health coach, and be an example to others of what is possible. I love it. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.